YouTubers, welcome back to AZ2 Ozarks. I am sorry that I have not done an update in a while on the house and what is going on with that, and I have to admit that I was really frustrated and a little bit disappointed in myself because of my lack of abilities. I was really struggling. My area of expertise is I homeschool the kids, I make bread, I clean the house, I cook, I do all these fun things. I am not a handyman, and Rick and I have been together for 19 years and married for 16, and I let him do all that stuff because he's so amazing at it. I haven't had to do that, so this is really showing me how much I rely on him for doing those kind of projects. And I'm glad that he is back to keep doing that, but I hope to keep learning. I don't want to be solely responsible for the big projects on my own. It's actually been a kind of rough week or so for us. Rick had to go back to Arizona for a final load, and it was supposed to be a really quick turnaround trip, 3 days. And he experienced more car trouble or truck trouble, and it ended up extending his trip to a full week. And in that time we had our first tornado warning, which I was a little bit unprepared for, so that caught me unawares. I had projects that I started that I thought were going to be simple that ended up spreading and turning into things that were way outside my capabilities. And so I've held this video. I'm going to show you some of the video footage I took during that time and show you my struggles and failures, and then we'll go back and show you some of the things that have now worked out well. Rick is back, he's here, he can fix all the things that I've goofed up at this time, and now he doesn't have to make any more trips back to Arizona. So that's the good news. We can all be together and continue this journey together. So here's Hey YouTubers, welcome back to AZ2 Ozarks. Today I am going to be replacing this oven hood with something a little bit more modern, and that will go with the theme that we're looking for. So we recently purchased this home, and it had this cover on it, which is probably original from 1989, and it's really grubby and gross. I didn't even take the time to clean it because I knew I wanted to replace it. In our old house in Arizona, we actually just cleaned the hood that was there really well, and we used a tough Rust-Oleum spray paint and spray painted it to match our white appliances. However, this style is outdated. We're getting all new appliances, and why not just update this as well? So let's go ahead and get started taking it down. First, I'm going to get in here with a flathead screwdriver and take off the cover to the control box to expose the wires and hopefully the power source. This is a small area to work in, and if you have a stumpy screwdriver, that would work better. This has a sealant all around it, so we need to pry through that to get access to the box. Now we need to get through this glue here to break the seal in order to get the box off. You can even use a flathead screwdriver for this. There we go. All right. Now we see the wires exposed here, and the power switch is not up here, so I'm going to turn it off at the breaker. A quick way to test if your power is off is by turning on the fan or the light of the hood, and you can see there's no power there. You want to make sure you don't have hot wires. Now that we don't have power, you need to disconnect the wires. We've got dead flies and debris in here. So we'll go ahead and disconnect these. And we also need to disconnect the ground. Depending on how you have it set up, the ground may appear different. These bugs out of here. Okay, get these straightened out so they're not going to stop us from getting this out of here. And next we're going to remove the screws that are holding it in. On here it looks like we just have 4 and they're quite rusted. It might be Phillips head is what it looks like. There's one there, one up in this corner, and then the opposite 2 corners, one there and way up in there. Tile backsplash has a lip on it and that may also help hold it up, and here it looks like it also has more of this seal, so we're probably going to have to break out that seal in order to get it to come out. Up here in the area above the stove hood, there's the tube that is your exhaust, and this has a substantial ring of sealant around it. So we have to break this seal in order to be able to take the hood off. Let's see if we can get this off up here. This has a much thicker seal back here, so I'm going to use an X-Acto blade knife in order to break that seal, and then once it's out of the way, hopefully I'll be able to clear it out of there. Yucky. That's what 30 years looks like. I don't know what the story is with this wall, why it's got all this mess here, but it must have been for running the wires. But now we can remove the seal that was on here, and this backsplash is going to be coming off. So all of that's gonna get torn out to add a new backsplash, and the new oven is also arriving next week. Well, this certainly isn't going as planned. These tiles are on here really well and are not easily coming off, and you can see that some on the bottom row here, we're taking all the way through the whole drywall. And even when the drywall paper is ripped like this, it is recommended to go ahead and replace the drywall before doing new tile backsplash to make sure you get a good seal. There's some people who believe you can just sand it and work with it. I want this house to stand the test of time, so I'm going to end up taking off this whole piece, and up here, you know, it's already been patched and repaired and there's some weird stuff going on. I'm going to cut out this entire piece of drywall and put in a new piece to be ready for a new tile backsplash. Well, at least the drywall's affixed using nails, so that's easy to pry those out of there. Well, you can imagine that I am disappointed to report that these hinges, the soft close hinges I've been working on, do not work on the pantry doors. So this is a complicated door system here. You have 2 front doors that close, and then on the inside, we have 2 doors that fold out this way and reveal more pantry space. So these doors, you can see, have a close fit right here when they close. What the problem is with these soft close hinges is this area is quite thick. And so when it's swinging closed, this thickness right here is bumping on the inner door. So this area right here is too thick. I am so bummed because I went through all the effort of drilling these holes and getting it all set up and ready to go. I actually even hung this door, and just to find out I couldn't open the inside doors. What I have done now, and I'm hoping solves the problem, you'll join me as I figure it out, is I have picked up some more hinges. These can be either soft close or regular. They're Blum brand, so they are the name brand hinges. And these are a much smaller profile. So you can see that this area here is quite thin compared to this one. So I'm hoping that these will clear. I've done some rough measurements, but you know, best laid plans and whatnot. So I am going to change these out. They're the same size hole, so they should fit. A quick swap. The ones I have on here took 2 screws to screw in. This one will be 1. We'll see how that aligns up with the other holes I've already drilled. I don't like drilling a whole bunch of holes here, but this has to be done because it doesn't work. And now that I've drilled the holes, regular hinges won't work either. So here I am with another learning process. Guess what? That's not going to work either. So not only was it the thickness that was the problem, which I thought was the problem. So this is much thinner. This is like a 1/2 inch thick here. Not very thick at all. You try and open the indoor cupboard. See if I can film it. It's the length of the hinge. Also, because it's extending past here, it needs to be more flush. There are not any that I have seen of this type of hidden hinges that have a shorter piece here. I will have to search for a hinge that can now line up here or somewhere else and still work, so it won't have hidden hinges. And I've got to go find some. This is what happens when you get project creep. So I thought I'll just go ahead and install the new oven hood real quick. And I take it off, and then the tile backsplash is in the way and we're not keeping that. So I think, oh, well, I'll just peel those right off. It looks really easy. And it turns out that it really damages the drywall. So then I think, well, gee, I can just cut out the drywall and fix it. And I do that, and then I've never done drywall before, so now we have the drywall back in. This is my first attempt at drywall. It may be my last. It's pretty ugly. However, I think it's going to be okay because we are going to have a tile backsplash here. Part of it will be the oven hood up here, then we'll have tile backsplash and an oven there. So now let's try and get back to the original project of installing the oven hood. So this house has an RO system, and we wanted to change out all of the filters on the RO system to make sure we have good, healthy water here. And now it's all leaking like crazy. And so we're working on stopping all the leaks. So at each one of these little fittings here, they're taking turns leaking everywhere. And then all of a sudden the coffee maker shut off, and we're like, wow, it must have popped a breaker somewhere or a GFI. And so we decided to pull out the dishwasher and see if there was a GFI back there. This is the power outlet wired with a zip tie onto the dishwasher. And look at this. This is all pulled out from the wall back here behind the dishwasher. And a zip tie holding the outlet. Wow. This is definitely not the way things are supposed to be done. I'm sure you have heard about blackout curtains. This is what we call a whiteout window. So every window on this place, this is a basement window, but pretty much every window has serious paint overspray. So they were repainting the siding to try and prevent the siding from leaking. However, the siding is still a problem. It all has to be replaced. That was just like a cover-up band-aid to get the place to sell. But all of these windows have overspray, and so I'm using just a handy-dandy razor blade and scraping them to get the paint off so we can have better clarity. This is one of the worst ones. The main floor windows just have like the light spray on it, but some of these, they didn't bother taping off the windows when they were painting. Now for the good things that have been happening. So we have a dining room table in our dining room now, yay! So we can actually eat like civilized people. And this area here, I will show you a before picture. I removed the bank of cabinets from here, and we will ultimately be pushing out this wall and removing that little tiny piece of a wall in order to have this completely open to the dining room. And down here you can see these unpainted cabinets. Those are going to come out as well, so the counter will end here. So that'll give us some more space between the dining room and the kitchen. And you can see that we have, almost all of the cabinet doors up. This one somehow evaded me while I was painting, so that still needs to be done. And these two here won't be going back on. We'll be getting an apron sink that will cover that area there. And you saw the issue with the wiring of the dishwasher. So we have a new dishwasher that has been delivered, just have not installed it yet. And then we turn around over here to the island. Oh, back here. So these two doors still need to have their second coat of paint, and then I need to put the handles on them. But we finally got hinges that work. These are simply regular hinges. So no soft close, nothing fancy, no hidden hinges, but it works. So that's how it's going to have to be. The refrigerator got delivered, and I'm so happy with it because we got counter depth. The other refrigerator I felt like was sticking out so far, and with this island counter here, I felt like there was no room to work between there. But that brings me to the point that I was about to make, is that the trash compactor was here, and ultimately there's a split here, and I'm going to remove this side and make the island smaller. And of course we'll have new countertops at some point in the future, but to make this island a little bit smaller so I have more room to work over here, because I felt crowded where the oven was and where the refrigerator was with the island. And then you see my amazing drywall going on over there. We still have not put up the oven hood, and that's because the ducting that is here did not fit with it properly. So Rick is going to help me with that. The new oven is also here, but it's not installed because we are converting to gas. So this is going to stay here until we can convert over to gas. Those are the positive things happening, and I am really excited that I have a functional kitchen that works, and it looks so much more open and bright and better without those cabinets and with everything painted except for those. It's a work in progress. It's not going to be finished right away, but at least it's functional, and I'm feeling like I'm seeing progress. So that is what has been going on the homestead. I hope you at least got a chuckle out of the video. If so, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more updates in the future.